find a new study. Imagine that. Marine microplastics are now invading the atmosphere, study finds. A new study has found that microplastics are now being emitted into the atmosphere, mainly from roads, the ocean, and agricultural practices. Yes. Annual plastic production actually contributes a lesser amount of atmospheric microplastic than plastic discharge from the ocean. It is estimated that about 10 million metric tons of microplastics are emitted into the atmosphere every year. Yes, the potential impacts of atmospheric microplastics on human health and ecosystems are largely unknown. Yes, they are. It is those unknown unknowns that will get you every time, as both, who was that who famously said that? Well, of course, Don Juan Matus said that, and then who was it who said that? That famous quote. I tell you, my world history. Who said about the unknown unknowns biting you in the butt? I don't think it was Dick Cheney, but it was one of those guys. That is exactly what he's talking about. But we're going to what is on the minds of Jair Bolsonaro this week. The mainstream media having quite a laugh, a sick, twisted laugh with this one. This is Manga Bay's spin on this story. Bolsonaro abandons enhanced Amazon commitment the same day he makes it. Yes, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro offered up Amazon conservation promises during the April 22nd Climate Leaders Summit. Yes, the Climate Leaders Summit hosted by the Save the President, Joe Biden. Then, that same day, Bolsonaro approved Brazil's 2021 budget that includes a $44 million annual reduction for the Ministry of the Environment. Conservationists say that the cuts will be utterly devastating for the nation's deforestation monitoring program, which is exactly the point. That is the point. The reductions will also impact
on Adenara, a community tries to come to terms with the devastation that hit their island. Many have been unable to contact family and friends, and hundreds of houses were destroyed. Everyone here has no choice but to start again.
Environmentalists were enraged by the slashed ministry budget. The agricultural sector remains largely happy with Bolsonaro, whose policies continue to benefit them. However, if Brazil continues along its anti-environmental path, it risks global boycotts of its commodities. I'm sure Bolsonaro is quaking in his boots. Okay, let's go over to the Philippines, where we find mining and logging threaten a wildlife wonderland on a Philippine mountain. Mount Busa on the island of Mindanao is among the most biodiverse and most threatened ecological areas in the country. It is a key biodiversity area and a known bird conservation area considered one of
the National Emergency
last
Management
remaining
Organization
strongholds
confirmed
of
the explosive
critically
eruption at St. Vincent and the
endangered and
Grenadines La
nationally
Soufrière
important
volcano, the first
Philippine
time since
eagle.
1979.
Its
The
ecological
plumes up to
importance,
8 kilometers in the
mountain
sky. The
has
ashfall is
enjoyed
expected
little
also in
protection,
5 minutes.
with only the topmost slopes falling under a local conservation zone. Yes. Imagine that, mining and logging threatening a wildlife wonderland. Okay. We just talked about the Philippine eagle. What's going on with the mysterious and maligned Chaco eagle? The Chaco, or the crowned eagle, is from southern Brazil to central Argentina. Fewer than 1,000 of the birds are now thought to exist in the wild, where they face threats from drowning, electrocution, shooting, poisoning, and habitat loss. Drowning. Anyway, I've never heard of an eagle drowning. Alright, so we're going to go over to Cambodia. You will not believe this. Deforestation ramps up in Cambodia's Keo Sima Wildlife Sanctuary. The forest of the Keo Sima Wildlife Sanctuary boasts a plethora of wildlife, including several endangered and recently described species. But the habitat of these animals depend on is rapidly disappearing, with 32% of the protected area's primary forest cleared over the past 20 years. And recent satellite data suggests 2021 is not starting out well for Kemo Sima, with higher numbers of deforestation alerts detected than in years past. Major drivers of forest loss include illegal logging and agriculture. So this is another one of those mythical protected area wildlife sanctuaries. 32% gone, and the chainsaws are buzzing as I'm buzzing. Alright. What is going on with gas fields and jihad? Alright, we now have a resource war moving into full speed ahead on the planet. Gas fields and jihad, Mozambique's Cabo Delgado becomes a resource-rich war zone. Yes, in the early 2010s, the fossil fuel industry discovered Africa's largest natural gas deposits off the remote northern coastline of Mozambique. The discovery led to a massive wave of investment and almost immediately a corruption scandal involving Credit Suisse, which I'm pretty sure is a Swiss banking outfit. The development of the gas field and liquid natural gas plant has been criticized for evicting locals and destroying livelihoods. In late March, the town of Palma near the oil facility came under attack from a jihadist group, and on Monday, French energy giant Total.
Weather this season followed one of the worst combinations possible. It was warm very early on, which means green shoots came out fast, but then came 2 nights of frost, which destroyed most of the harvest. These small fires were meant to heat up the air to avert the green shoots freezing and ultimate destruction.
Mozambique. All right, we have some profound ignorance. I don't know what has happened to Colony of Cells recently here on this channel. Haven't heard from Colony. Maybe he could. Right. What is going on with gas fields and jihad? All right, we now have a resource war moving into full speed ahead on the planet. Gas fields and jihad, Mozambique's Cabo Delgado becomes a resource-rich war zone. Yes, in the early 2010s, the fossil fuel industry discovered Africa's largest natural gas deposits off the remote northern coastline of Mozambique. The discovery led to a massive wave of investment and almost immediately a corruption scandal involving Credit Suisse, which I'm pretty sure is a Swiss banking outfit. The development of the gas field and liquid natural gas plant has been criticized for evicting locals and destroying livelihoods. In late March, the town of Palma near the oil facility came under attack from a jihadist group, and on Monday, French energy giant Total, I can't read all of this French stuff in the middle of this English language, but I guess we have the French energy giant, Swiss bankers, jihads, can you say resource wars in Mozambique? Alright, we have some profound ignorance. I don't know what has happened to Colony of Cells recently here on this channel. Haven't heard from Colony. Maybe he could straighten out some of the profound ignorance. Microbes, a missing piece in the biodiversity puzzle. Researchers are certain that human activity has resulted in a decline in plant and animal species, but a huge unknown remains. What impacts have human actions, ranging from climate change to ocean acidification, deforestation, and land use change, nitrogen pollution, and more, had on the Earth's microbes? A new paper offers a troubling answer. Science suffers from profound ignorance about the ways in which microbial biodiversity is being influenced by rapid environmental changes now happening on our planet. Yes. One thing researchers do agree on: knowing how human activities are influencing the microbial world could be very important to the future of humanity and our planet, I bet. Okay, let's head over to some greenwashing in Papua New Guinea. Yes. A new Greenpeace report has identified a litany of loopholes and violations in Indonesia's forest and palm oil moratoriums, as well as other forest protection measures. The report alleges that government officials routinely flout their own regulations to continue issuing licenses to plantation companies. Among the alleged violations are the constant changes to maps of forest that should be off limits for plantations, and forest clearing permits granted to companies that do not meet the non-existent requirements. Okay. Let's do one more look at Bozo Nero, as if we haven't heard this one before. Large-scale deforesters emboldened under Brazil's Bozo Nero. Deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon has increased, and the size of individual patches of cleared land has also grown, pointing to organized efforts at deforestation. And according to a new paper, under the administration of President Jair Bolsonaro, the average size of deforested areas has increased by 61%, with patches larger than 100 hectares, otherwise known as 250 acres, now the new normal. Quoting the deforestation policy expert Ralph Troncoso, quote, "Nobody cuts down 100 hectares with a chainsaw. It involves giant machines." Yes. Troncoso has called for a reinstatement of deforestation control policies that Bolsonaro abandoned when he came into office. Yes. Then I guess their podcast of the week, Two Tunas and a Tale of Managed Extinction. Yes, looking at the yellowfin tuna and the blue tuna, how, you know, these fisheries management operations are managing tuna right into extinction. Okay, we have a question here in the headline.
The cloud of yellow insects flew into the areas surrounding Eilat and the Arabah, with some even coming from the sea. The yellow color is an indication of their age, as these bugs are mature and skilled flyers. Throughout history, locusts have been symbolic of major devastation.
Smoke and mirrors? 40 nations, producers of 80% of annual carbon emissions, made pledges of heightened climate ambition this week as U.S. President planet-saving Joe Biden's Leaders Summit on Climate. Yes. But as each head of state took to the podium, climate activists responded by pointing to the abysmal lack of action by those nations. Yes, as the U.S. promised to have its emissions by 2030, advocates noted the lack of policies in place to achieve that goal and the likelihood of intense Republican resistance. China promised at the summit to eliminate coal plants, but 247 gigawatts of coal power is currently in planning or development stages in China. The UK, EU, Japan, and South Korea all pledge to do more, but all are committed to burning forest biomass to replace coal, a solution relying on a long-standing carbon accounting error that counts forest biomass as carbon neutral, though scientists say it produces more emissions than coal per unit of electricity made, said one environmental advocate, remaining anonymous. Quote, "This summit could be a critical turning point in our fight against climate change, but we have seen ambitious goals before, and we have seen them fall flat. Today's commitments must be followed with effective implementation and with transparent reporting and accurate carbon accounting. Yes, good luck. Let's see. Do we want a corona panic story? There has been a reported surge in illegal fishing of the pirarucu, also known as the arapaima, a massive Amazon fish. The fishing season is supposed to be closed from November to March to protect fish populations. Yes. But the economic fallout of the corona panic and a lack of enforcement due to the lockdowns have compounded the problem. Yes, pushing more people into illegal fishing to earn money. This is the corona panic story you will not hear coming out of Brazil anywhere but Manga Bay. Gee, what a surprise. As climate summit unfolds, no Biden Bolsonaro Amazon deal forthcoming. Yes. I'm not even going to get into this. It has become apparent that talks between Biden and Bolsonaro to save the planet are likely stale.